Good afternoon YouTube, Trevor here, Summit or Nothing, solo wild camping on Dartmoor on Oak Tour today. Quite excited today as well because I've got a new tent to try out. Ultralight budget backpacking tent, the 3F UL gear Lanshan 2. I've been looking at it for ages, got it on AliExpress, I'll put a link below, and it cost me £77 all in, shipped from China. Took about 2 weeks to get here. I wasn't expecting it as soon, so I was surprised it was here this morning. So I thought, let's go and camp in it. Right, so I'm going to pitch here. So it's a 3F UL gear Lanshan 2. It's packed away in this tidy little waterproof pouch, sort of like what you wrap your clothes in when you're camping. I've had a quick open up, there is pegs in there. Thought I better make sure. It was a lot more compact when I first opened it, and when I took it out, sort of thought, because it's going to be lightweight and it looks almost like paper, like a thin sort of material when you see the photos, so I was always a bit dubious, but actually feeling it, it feels quite a good sort of thick material. I mean, it is thin, obviously it's ultralight, but it feels good, sturdy. So let's see how easy it is to put them up now. That's handy to know. It all comes pegged together, the inner and the outer. It's handy to wrap up. And it's two side entrances. So the sun's setting over there, the sun rising over there. Wind isn't an issue tonight. So I'm going to set it up with the door so I can open the door. Now there's plenty of pegs in here, much like the nature hike pegs. I'd say it's a bit longer than the nature hike. And I don't know, they feel a bit lighter too. They split into 4 rather than your 3 ribs like your nature hike. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in there. Plus also some extra cord for lashing the sides, I should think. And then some rubber. I imagine is up for tears, repairing. Doesn't seem to be any glue in there. There's something else in there. What's in here? Oh, more ropes. So plenty of guy ropes in there. Just a little tip as well, whenever I peg, say the tent's coming that way, the guide rope or wherever you're pegging through, I always peg like that, so it's pulling that way rather than pulling it up and out, so it's got that resistance. Anyway, let's get it pegged up. Literally peg the corners first. Corners pegged up. Next I'm taking out the hiking poles, because that's the way they keep the weights down in this tent, is by eliminating the use of poles, so you can set it up with your hiking poles. So we'll see if this is right. I'm going to try and set it up now and then peg the rest out. I don't know if I'm doing it out of order, but we'll soon tell. That might be too high. Can always adjust the height after. Just get some pegs in. Right, that's not worked 100%. No, I'm struggling with this, aren't I? Right, so it's up, just doesn't look very sturdy at the minute. This is the bit I hate, sorting out cords. Rubbish at it. Right, so when I set this out, I pegged out the corners of the ground sheet. There's not enough pegs to do the ground sheet and the outer sheet, so I'm swapping them out now. It's all a learning curve. Pull it in tight, like a doinker. Right, just going around doing the little adjustments. I've noticed the pegs, you see the peg? There's only 2 sides in which there's a little divot cut out, to make sure when you're putting your pegs in that it's hooking over that bit. So I'm put this on the tensioner to help support that. which then leads me to think that this might still be too high, because now if I come to peg the door in, barely reaches. Not entirely sure there's enough pegs with it. I think I could do one more peg to peg this back as well, and possibly some to peg down the inside. I'd say 12 would be plenty. What I've done, I've used a stone. I couldn't find anything pointy to stab in the ground, so hopefully that's enough for now. No winds tonight, I hope. Again, it's quite a garish tent, like the nature hike. It's bright, you know. It's not really a stealth tent, is it? Looks like it could be a bit tighter. Looks a bit saggy around the edges. I'm not the best at putting up tents. So here I am now inside. As you can see, it's quite loose, all flapping up. Yeah, and when you stand up, look, this is all just loose and flapping. So probably be better once I've got all my gear down. It feels a bit more exposed. It doesn't feel as contained as my nature hike and the Banshee as well. You feel like you're in a tent. Because it's all netting, it's all like a mesh, it almost feels like a tarp. But then, you know, that's what you're paying for. It's ultra light. Obviously the mesh is a lot lighter than the nylon. It seems quite spacious. It probably is the same as the nature hike. One day I'll set all these tents up all next to each other and we'll have a look. I've got my pole set up on the outside of the tent, you see. There's a spot there, it seems to have come off a bit. There, is that better? Yeah, that's on it. I assume that's where it sits, but I have noticed this here. I don't know what that is. See, that's what made me wonder whether the poles come inside and it sits onto there. Maybe not. We'll see. So this tent, door either side, which is the first time I've had a door either side of my tents as well. Like I say, it's just the mesh makes you feel like you're outside, and I'm beginning to think it could be cold in here tonight, but we'll see. Also notice that this side we've got like quite a nice sort of an upstand, but this side for some reason it's just sort of flush to the ground. I'm sure it shouldn't be, but I don't know how to get that up. If there was any water sort of running down here, it comes straight in on that. So it's probably to do with not pegging out properly. But anyone had any experience with the Lanshan, just let me know in the comments what I'm doing wrong. There's pockets, keep your personables, one at either end, and then you've got hooks for hanging your lamps on. It's worth noting though that the vestibule out that side, that's a decent sized vestibule there, sticking your bag out, whereas this side's not quite so big. If you thought the nature hike looked like a lamp with the light on, the Lanshan certainly does. It's very bright. You'd see that from a distance, wouldn't you? But it's surprisingly warm in there. Now I've stepped out and I can feel the difference. .4 AM. I tell you what, it has been absolutely freezing tonight. Coldest I've ever been. My hands are numb. But it's cold. I thought it was quite mild, but now it's cold. There's quite a lot of moisture on the inside in here, condensation. And I can see in a couple of places, like up here, the two skins are touching, so there's like a bridge there. And there's a few really icy droplets just ready to go on a flick, you know? So quite condensation-y. Which you'd have thought with the mesh maybe it wouldn't have been, but it is, alright? Probably not a winter tent. I probably won't bring it out again now till spring, but it'd be good to test it in some winds once I've bought more pegs. So you can see the tent is touching here across the ridge and over here and down the bottom here, so it hasn't been sort of pulled tight as I'd liked. And I'm sure it's to pull out there and there probably would help keep that separate. As I said, there was a lot of moisture sort of transferring through on the inside. I can feel drips on me.
which is all right when it's just condensation and a bit of mist, but had it been raining, that might have been an issue. Don't know. Leave me your thoughts below. Let me know if you've tried the Lanshan 2. Give me some feedback. What things you can suggest to improve my enjoyment of it. Now all we've left to do is pack it up, see how long that takes us. Okay, so now it's time to pack up. Let's see how this goes. That wasn't too bad. It hasn't gone quite as compact as it should have, and maybe stuffing it wasn't great because there's a lot of rigid pieces in there. Now I'm a bit worried that they might sort of twist and break. So as always, thank you for joining me. If you've got any feedback at all, leave a comment below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. See you soon. Arrivederci.